Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm gonna be talking about the official retirement of the greatest character in professional wrestling history, and that is the Undertaker. He is officially retired at the Survivor Series, where his WWE wrestling career began. He made his WWE debut at the Survivor Series in 1990, and his career will poetically officially retire and end at the Survivor Series. He didn't wrestle. He just they just did a nice promo. This was coming. I mean, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion after his WWE Network documentary that they did. Obviously wrestling today is crap compared to what it was back when Undertaker started his WWE career, but there'll never be another one like him. Wrestling is so different from what it was back then, and Undertaker was able to evolve his gimmick, his Undertaker gimmick, and last as long as he did. And the way WWE sets up their characters now, they literally only set up their characters for maybe 6 months. And then that's it. And then they just kind of go into obscurity. And, Undertaker is just one of those characters that will last the test of time. He'll properly go into the Hall of Fame, so he probably, I guess, would make another appearance at next year's WrestleMania, assuming that we actually have a WrestleMania with fans and not have it be virtual with the Thunderdome. The same Thunderdome that basically forces you to cheer and boo who they want you to cheer and boo, by the way. Censorship at its finest. But anyways, Undertaker, greatest character ever. I did love how they had the Pallbearer hologram thing, where they show Pallbearer as Undertaker as doing his rest in peace pose at the end there. That was pretty cool. Pallbearer, of course, passed away long. It's like I think it's like 5 years now. So to kind of do that. Pallbearer was obviously synonymous to the development of the character of The Undertaker after they got Brother Love out as his manager after the first couple of months. Really kind of synonymized that whole thing, the first thing with The Undertaker, that first chapter of the character of The Undertaker. But that was pretty good. They did the whole thing with all the wrestlers coming out beforehand. I don't think that was really needed. I mean, I can understand why they were doing that, but it just kind of felt like really kind of weird that like all the wrestlers from like his rivalry were coming out or whatever in the ring. I think that would have been better for like maybe like a Hall of Fame speech or something like that. I just kind of was lost into that whole thing. Kane coming out, I think, was more significant because obviously the whole brother storyline that has pretty much lasted to this day. Everyone has pretty much said that was probably one of the greatest storylines ever, because it was mixed in with theatrical, but also had a really emotional storyline to it. And that storyline still to this day is something that they always go back to from time to time. While Undertaker and Kane's careers were still going on, from time to time, they would always go back to that storyline, which you don't see in WWE today, which is another thing that's lacking. Kane Undertaker storyline, did very good because they literally had a 6-month build where they never wrestled each other. They never wrestled each other until WrestleMania 14. There was literally a half a year build from Kane's debut to even before Kane debuted, even really. So really a year build. It's kind of like what The Rock and Cena did before they did it. It was unofficial because when Undertaker was WWE champion, when he won at WrestleMania 13, they were already teasing this whole brother thing. And then, the whole thing with Pallbearer. That was actually shortly after he won the title. But that was that whole thing that they were developing. And then finally in October, they set up the whole thing where, Kane made his debut at Bad Blood, cost Undertaker a match against Shawn Michaels in the Hell in a Cell match. And then Undertaker would, be off television for a couple months, and then he comes back. Kane, slowly starts doing his thing, but they never, wrestle until WrestleMania 14. In March. It's almost a 1-year build, pretty much. And that's why it's lasted the test. That's why that storyline lasted the test of time, is because they didn't ruin it. They didn't ruin it and have them wrestle each other within the next month, like they do now. If that storyline was done today, there's no way that storyline would have lasted, because they would have had them wrestle within the next month or whatever, and they would have ruined it. That's why that storyline was always synonymous. That was one of the greatest storylines ever, because it was a storyline they could literally go back to, when it was, significant for both Kane and The Undertaker. Undertaker, obviously, the undefeated streak. WrestleMania, unfortunately, it was snapped by Brock because Vince McMahon was for whatever reason, wanted Brock to win. As we know now, Brock actually didn't want to end the streak, and Undertaker didn't think the streak should have ended. But neither one of them were willing to go to Vince and change his mind, which is just... It's just incredible to think why Vince McMahon decided to end the undefeated streak even more, because, the streak, Undertaker should have retired with the streak. I don't care what anyone says, Undertaker should have retired with the streak. The only way he shouldn't have retired with the streak is if he lost to someone who could have truly benefited from it. A new wrestler, a younger wrestler. A younger star. That's the only way that the streak should have ever ended. Otherwise, the streak should have just stayed alive until he retired. WWE screwed that up. Including even Roman Reigns. No, I wouldn't have had Roman win either. Because Roman Reigns, by the time he wrestled The Undertaker, he had already won multiple titles. So I wouldn't even, and he was getting booed, obviously. He would have gotten booed even more if he had ended the streak. So no, not even Roman Reigns, I don't think, should have won it, because it would have given him no benefit. He had beaten everyone at that point. So him beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania wouldn't have helped him get any larger as a person for wrestling wise. So no, I would, give it to a younger guy, or just let him retire with the streak. A younger guy that hasn't won a title, or hasn't won a world title yet, hasn't gotten to the whole thing. But in terms of this, the promo for The Undertaker was pretty much, short and sweet. It was, him saying that, it's now time for him to rest in peace. It was a simple, short and sweet, Undertaker-like promo, because he's the dead man. I wasn't really expecting him to give a large speech, because in character, this is kind of how Undertaker is. The character is supposed to be like that. Um, I'm really more expecting him to kind of give more of a speech at his Hall of Fame induction ceremony at WrestleMania, because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's pretty much a shoo-in that he's going to be in next year's Hall of Fame. Um, Obviously, we don't know the status of last year's Hall of Fame inductees because obviously, with WrestleMania basically being at the Performance Center last year, that pretty much forced them not to do any Hall of Fame ceremony. Um, I really hope they don't just like say, oh, well, we're not going to have another induction ceremony for 2021. We're just going to have the 2020 inductions in. That's stupid. They should really do what the NFL is doing, and that is just have a double Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Personally, what I think they should just do is I think they should just have the induction ceremony, because they were thinking at SummerSlam, obviously that didn't happen. Survivor Series came and gone, obviously they didn't do that. What they should do is just have it at the Royal Rumble or something, have the 2020 induction at the Royal Rumble. And then do the class for WrestleMania for next year at, the new ones for that year. That's what they should just do. Or just do a double induction and have multiple people get inducted. That's what they should do. But Undertaker is shoo-in getting in. He's going to be the leader for the Hall of Fame this year, and that's where I expect him to give his actual, speech as a human. Mark Calloway talking. Undertaker, obviously really couldn't say that much. For this in character because, Undertaker, he had to say it in, the Undertaker-like character. It's time for me to rest in peace now. That's an Undertaker character thing to say right there. So for the Hall of Fame speech, he's gonna, he's gonna be more of, his real self. And he's going to give more of his thoughts, his 30-year experience with the WWE and whatnot. That's where you're really going to hear more. But you've already pretty much heard it. I mean, if you've been watching this documentaries on the network, I mean, you pretty much have already heard most of the stories anyways. But, to give more in-depth, they're probably going to do the Hall of Fame speech. And that's where he's going to get more in-depth with stuff. Overall, speech was, what it was. It was Undertaker officially retiring as the character. Will we see more Undertaker? I mean, I'm sure Undertaker is going to do more appearances here and there. Maybe not on WWE television. Maybe, we've seen him do some news stuff where he appears on some talk shows and stuff like that as the dead man. We'll probably see more of that. I mean, Undertaker literally has set himself up to literally appear on pretty much anything he wants for the rest of his life as them. He literally can dress up for Halloween every year as the Undertaker, and everyone they could make a movie off of the Undertaker for all they care, and he freaking would probably do pretty good on it on its own merit. We'll see. It won't be the end of the Undertaker in terms of seeing him making appearances from time to time. He can definitely go to a lot of places and just dress up as the dead man and make a lot of benefit because everyone loves the gimmick and the character. In terms of wrestling, it's over, but we already knew that going into this. And really, honestly, it should. Undertaker's wrestling abilities have diminished the last couple of years. He's been very sloppy in the ring, which is very unfortunate because I'm one of the biggest Undertaker fans out there. And I just don't want to see him be a shell of his former self. The whole Goldberg match was just god-awful, and it was really upsetting for me because I was a huge Undertaker fan and a huge Goldberg fan. And to see that train wreck of a match was just really gut-wrenching for me. as a fan, seeing these two performers almost kill each other, literally, in the ring. Um, you know, and that's just something I didn't want to see. These guys go through. And it's just time. It's the right time, and I'm, I'm satisfied, and hopefully, WWE can actually do a little better, but I don't think they will. But you know, it's the end of the old guard, as they say, because Undertaker's pretty much the last one from the old guard, and yeah, it's gonna be tough, but that's pretty much it. That's the end, right there. That is the end. That generation. The last age. Whether you want to go back to the Hogan, end of the Hogan era, the New Generation era, the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression. Because he was in there. That guard is pretty much gone. Undertaker and Kane were really the last ones, and Triple H too. But Triple H is kind of not. He's kind of pretty much retired as well. That guard is pretty much it's gone. That era is over. And it's just really sad to see that end. Because the way the wrestlers are now, it's just not the same anymore like it used to be. But yeah, guys, that's my thoughts and my take on it. Survivor Series, it was whatever. It was no one really cared about this card. It was more about the Undertaker than anything else. Survivor Series is just a SmackDown versus Raw pay-per-view now. Yeah, guys, that's my take on this. Comment, rate if you like to film my videos. Please subscribe, and that's about it, guys. Also, please subscribe and hit the notification bells for all the latest content. Make sure you subscribe if you're watching this and you like it, and hit the bell because not many people do, and then they don't get the latest video updates. So, yeah, do that. Also, Discord, link in the description. Also, I do have a Patreon. That's about it. I'm the Ultimate Goku.